to go out to Hofstra University now outside of the debate, and Chris Matthews. Chris, your initial thoughts. How did you score it?
Well, I believe that it was a big mistake made by John McCain tonight with regard to abortion rights. If his goal was to win over the Hillary Clinton voter or older women or younger women in Florida or in southeastern Pennsylvania, I think he blew it tonight. You can't belittle the health exception with regard to abortion. You cannot belittle a woman and her doctor saying there's a health reason for an abortion, even in late term. You can't belittle it. You can't simply say only her health would permit, or rather her possible death would permit an abortion. The health exception is in Roe v. Wade. You cannot belittle it. You cannot characterize it in any diminutive way. He did that tonight. It's going to kill him with pro-choice women across the board. On another point, a very visceral point, he never really did what he had promised to do for weeks, which is to challenge Barack Obama on his patriotic impulse with regard to palling around with a terrorist. If they're going to use that phrase, as the vice presidential candidate has done so dramatically, if they're going to continue to talk about Bill Ayers, they had to say what they meant by it. This guy was anti-American. To pal around with him was anti-American. He never said that tonight. He played around with it. He talked around it. He never did it. John McCain didn't do what he was prepared to do, it seemed, coming into this debate. So I don't think John McCain scored the point he wanted to score for weeks now, which is to bring into question the character of and the patriotism, if you will, of Barack Obama. And I think he made a big mistake on abortion rights.
Chris, I thought it was interesting.
That would be my thoughts.
I think it was interesting how they did engage each other on the question of President Bush, because this, in many ways, is the pillar of this campaign that's going to drive what happens on Election Day, whether voters think that McCain is more of Bush. And he said it. He looked Obama in the eye and said, "I am not George Bush." And then Obama responded. How do you think that played out?
Well, I thought that was a great line. I completely agree with you. That may be the sort of the bicentennial moment with regard to the McCain campaign. He said, "I am not President Bush. If you wanted to run against him, you should have ran 4 years ago." Obviously, a set piece. It was a good line. By the way, I'm sitting here with Andrea, who has all kinds of thoughts, too. Let's bring her into this conversation.
No,
Andrea.
I was going to say that I thought that was the line of the debate, was John McCain saying, Senator Obama, if you wanted to run against George Bush, you should have run against him 4 years ago. I thought John McCain had a very strong night. I think this was his best debate, clearly. I'm not sure it was enough to close the gap. Obama seemed to be sitting on his lead in the polls, and not wanting to make a mistake, not wanting to open anything up. I agree entirely with you guys that he chose to overlook the invitation to attack Sarah Palin, who is popular with some sectors, and attacking a woman candidate is always risky, as other candidates have learned in the past. One thinks of Rick Lazio against Hillary Clinton, so he deferred from taking that on. I think that you're right about the abortion question.
So belittling the health exception. Right.
Roe v. Wade is a big issue with a lot of undecided women, a lot of those suburban women, and Barack Obama laid that out there in a very clear fashion. So I still think that this debate went to John McCain, but that it may not be enough to be a game changer.
Well, we'll see. I think it's a narrow victory for Barack based upon watching these. David, you and I and everybody here, Andrea, we've all watched the way the public has reacted to these the performances, and they seem to like the casual, almost casual performance of Barack Obama over the more heated intensity of John McCain. I think Andrea and I agree that it was the most heated intensity of John McCain. Well, it doesn't seem to work with the public.
Here's my one caveat. This is a day with this extraordinary drop in the market, and Barack Obama is clearly betting that his cool, calm approach is what people are looking for. And when he kept saying, this tit for tat is not what people really want right now in this crisis, his demeanor may have won something on style that he did not perhaps win on points. And
Andrea, the reality is that Barack Obama is cautious about appearing angry and negative. He wants those titles to go to John McCain. He appears to have won that in terms of the polling. More voters think that McCain has gone negative than Obama. Obama said that his ads have been 100% negative. Our fact checkers say, no, that's not quite the case. The advantage goes to McCain in terms of negativity by a few percentage points, but they're, by 73 to 67 or something like that. But he has not been 100% negative. There's certainly positive ads out there as well.
Well, in fact, in terms of the facts, In the last 2 weeks or so, yes, McCain's ads have been 100% negative, according to the University of Wisconsin project that looks at such things. But over the course of the campaign, as Obama really phrased it by saying that in the past all ads have been negative, he's wrong. Obama was wrong on that particular fact. The other point, as the McCain people and Nicole Wallace, his spokesperson, said today, the fact is that Barack Obama has so much more money and so many more ads on that overall he has probably done more negative ads. But again, right. David, you're correct. That is right. Not the way people perceive it. And the perception in this game is really the fact.
I think, David, that John McCain made a calculation tonight that he could come in and say, you're angry. 3 times he said the public's angry, angry, angry. So he could be angry and be consistent with the public mood. I think he's wrong. I don't think the public's angry. I think they're scared. I think they're worried and they're depressed. And I thought that mood was captured by Barack Obama tonight by saying we're facing the worst economic challenge since the Great Depression. Almost like an historical weight to it that's on our shoulders now. It's not a time to shout out the window. It's a time to deal with a very difficult challenge. And I think he may have the tenor right, but we'll see in the hours ahead who had the right tenor tonight.